Welcome back, everyone. This is Tyler from Pro Physique, and today we're going to talk about whether or not you should be starting a reverse. All right, everyone, it is Thursday, almost the weekend. I hope you've been having a fantastic week, crushing whatever it is you do. We're getting snow this weekend. Not too excited about that. I am ready for spring. I am ready for warmth. I am sick and tired of the cold, wet weather that we get here. But we've still got a few months to go. So we're just going to have to kind of dig in and deal with it. But anyways, so today I wanted to talk about what scenario, or what does it look like when you should be starting a reverse? What are the things that we should look at when we are making that decision to not diet, or stop dieting and start adding calories in? So this has been something that I've been kind of dealing with a lot with potential clients, and I just wanted to go over some of the things that I look at when making that recommendation of adding food in and decreasing cardio if need be. So probably the number one thing I look at is calories or macronutrient breakdown. So how much is that person intaking? So we want to make sure that when we start a dieting phase that we are not very low calories already. Because when we diet, we are constantly having to take food away as soon as the body starts, or as soon as the body adapts to the current calorie intake. All right? And so we don't want to get our food down to dangerous levels. So for example, we want to keep fats, above about 15% of total calorie intake, because kind of below that 15%, we start seeing a lot of health detriments to that person. All right? We don't want carbs crazy low, especially if that person is just, your average dieter. We don't, they might not be ready, for a prep type dieting phase where, carbs can get down to 70, 80 grams of carbs, depending on the person. All right. And then we also obviously have to make sure that protein is adequate so that we're actually getting that positive net protein balance, and we are actually preserving muscle going into a dieting phase and not losing a ton of muscle. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I look at is where are our calories at? And if they're too low and the cardio is too high, I will typically recommend, we should probably focus on adding food in for a little bit, get those calories up to a better level, get that cardio down to a better level, and then we can start dieting. And that does scare people a lot in the sense that, they hear adding food and, you might put on a little bit of weight and they kind of get scared of that. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that we're actually setting ourselves up for, long-term gain, long-term success. That, if we just start dieting right away on low calories, you're not going to be very happy in 6 weeks, depending on where the calories were at. And we're actually going to go backwards. We might lose a few pounds, but if our long-term goal is, such and such, well, it might be better to spend in a little bit of a reverse and adding food in, and then we can diet, and then we have a lot more food to take from. We have a lot more cardio that we can add because we've barely been doing any cardio. And so the change that is going to be seen is going to be that much more. So that's probably the biggest thing that I look at. The second biggest thing, or the next biggest thing, is we talk about, mentally, where are you at? Some people have been dieting already for quite some time and they want to keep going because they've plateaued. And, where are you mentally? Are you ready for a good hard push, or are you mentally burned out? Right? So that's a good question to ask yourself if you've been dieting for a while. Is where are you? Where are you? Could you push for, another 6 weeks and, probably get down to the nitty gritty of dieting? Or is it going to be really hard to be consistent? And is it time to start adding food in? Are you burned out? Are you done? If you don't want to do this anymore, it's probably a good indication that, you probably need to start adding food back in. So those are two of the biggest things that I look at when I am giving a recommendation as to what phase that we should enter. I always try and do leave it up to the client, though. If they really want to diet, then we will. But I always like to give my recommendations based upon those two things, and what might be the best thing for your health, not just physical but mental and emotional health as well. So there's a lot of factors that go into deciding whether it's time to reverse or it's time to keep dieting or start a diet. But I would say that those two are the biggest thing. Where are our calories at, and where are we at mentally, emotionally with the diet if you have been dieting already for a while. All right. So I think that's going to be everything for today, guys. Quick one today, but just something that's been on my mind. So if you've been dieting, ask yourself those questions. If you want to start a diet, ask yourself those questions. Where are my calories at? Am I ready to, really push for a while to lose that weight if your calories aren't super high? And you know what? Contact a coach. Someone like me, or Pro Physique, get an opinion on where you're at and maybe what phase that you might be able to go into. So, all right, guys, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Ask questions. Leave comments. Love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your Thursday.